Hello there, and welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV Shadowbringers. Last lesson? Spot the teacher, folks. Last episode, we found out a little bit more, quite a lot more, really, about the individuals of which MSQ appears to be a member. A visitor's writ? Yes, I can assist you. Full name, please. Demajen Blackthorn. Please wait near the counter while I confirm your details. So, are we going to have been added to the registrar? Of course, why is there a shop here? Is it just a random merchant? Demajen Blackthorn, your application is ready for collection. I'm going to check out the shop first. He sells just random stuff, which is kind of weird. What's that gear like? Let's mend while we're here. As your residency was approved by MSQ himself, further forms of identification will not be required. Here are your application documents. Submit them at the Bureau of the Secretariat, and the clerk will issue you with a visitor's writ for the capital. Okay, so as kind of suspected, that's not the door out. As kind of suspected, MSQ has arranged for us to have citizenship of a sort. So not the possibility that we were originally of the first, or of the precursor. How do we get there? This way? I think we can get there this way. Ignoring the cubuses? Cubi? Cubus. I wonder if they're deliberately called cubus to annoy people that they're not cubes. It probably means something different in Latin, though. Shall we Google that while I think about it? Cubus. Latin. A mass. Quantity. So realistically, it is correct. They are a mass, a gelatinous mass. At that. So they are protoplasmic masses. Once again, Final Fantasy XIV doing its homework. Hello, clerk. Next, please. Have my documents. Visiting the capital, are we? Please take a seat. Your name will be called once your application has been processed. It's interesting that he's conjured so many of these people to give you a real sense of what the city was like. It's also interesting that they are so large. Is it MSQ's memory of his society being so big? Or was he himself a much bigger being? Uh-oh. May I? Yes. You may. You, I think, are from a time beyond ours. Have you followed in the wake of MSQ? So he knows, or it knows, that something odd is going on here. Nay, there is no cause for alarm. I am simply a shade. Here and not here. I know only that my name is Ithlodeus, and that this city is a recreation, a phantom moment plucked from the well of history. So he's a shade with self-awareness and really pixely eyes. These others seem unaware of their pale existence, but I wonder if Emetzel's mind was distracted when it came to my reconstitution. A stray thought would have been enough. Ithlodeus would realise the truth, for example. We were close friends once, you see. Yet, in spite of my perception, I play the same role as all the rest. A bit part. Meant to bring colour and noise to this well-crafted stage. Too much scrutiny, and we shall burst like the fragile bubbles we are. Thus, I tell you again, my presence is naught to concern you. I wish only to share your company whilst we wait. If you've come this far, then you know the catastrophe which awaits us on our morrow. We know bits. The final days. What began as isolated incidents soon swelled into a world-spanning threat. The convocation of 14, well, it was 13 at the time, endeavoured to create a will for our star that would repair the fundamental laws of order and halt the spread of destruction. But creation on such a scale required an immense source of power. Of those of us who still lived, nearly half offered up their lives in the name of salvation. And from their sacrifice Zodiac was born, just as we had hoped. He reached forth and halted the march of oblivion. Yet oh, how the star had suffered. So many species were lost, the land was blighted, the waters poisoned, and even the wind had ceased to blow. Once more did our people give of themselves to Zodiac. Another half of our race sacrificed to cleanse the world, to ensure that trees and grasses and myriad tiny lives would sprout and grow and flourish. Is that half of the half, or is that... The cycle of life had begun anew. We reconsidered the means by which we might protect it. The convocation decided thus. We would nurture our world until it was bursting with vitality. Then, when the time was right, we would offer some portion of its living energy to Zodiac. In return, he would restore to us those brethren whose souls had fed his strength. Together we would resume our role as stewards. There were, however, those who disagreed with this plan. They argued that enough had been sacrificed to Zodiac, that this new world should belong to the lives newly born. These dissidents surrendered their life energies to the creation of Hydaelyn, an incarnation of their opposing belief. And for the first time in history, our people stood divided. Know you then how this conflict ended? So, whilst this guy is a creation of the magics that Emetzelch has employed, he seems to corroborate the story. But is that by design that he corroborates this? Or is it, as suggested, a stray thought? A crack in Emetzelch's veneer? Or is he simply telling the honest truth? The question has been raised here, and therefore this is a seed of doubt. I thought you might. Hello, Emmett. Emmett Selk has ever been a champion for the will of Zodiac. The original plan may have been set back by millennia, but he will have not abandoned his course. He will pay the price for our return by whatever means is necessary. And though he may carry himself with a certain glib ease, Emmett Selk is not a man to bear his burdens lightly. In fact, I imagine they have only grown heavier with every passing century. Is that why he's so stooped? Is that his purpose for showing us here? So that we can understand. It is truly a terrible weight he has chosen to carry. Yep. Demajen Blackthorn. Ah. That's us. Oh, the others have gone. It seems your turn has come. Pray, do not let me keep you. So is he to confirm? Ah, there was one last thing. You walk with another at your side, yes? Oddbirds. Nay, I see no definite form, just the faintest suggestion of a second soul. I doubt it visible to anyone but me. Otherwise, I assume only you can see and hear this ethereal companion. Your connection is hardly a coincidence. In our time, the two of you were one. The colour of your souls tells the tale. A hue that distinctive cannot be mistaken, no matter how thin the soul is spread. So yeah, when the soul that is us, the warrior of light, was separated, and the Emmett Selk's idea that the rejoining of the world should have enabled us to get to a place where we could contain this light, and therefore he is disappointed that we are not yet ready. This is just the kind of fate I might expect for one such as she. Surely Emmett Selk has recognised the hint of her in you. Oh, is this the person that Emmett Selk loved? Because that would be interesting. Demajen Blackthorn! Yeah, I'm here. Fare you well, my new old friend. May you find what it is you seek. Oh, this is interesting. This is interesting indeed. Your visitor's writ as requested. When you wish to gain admittance to the capital, simply present the document to the attendant within. Ba, 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 ba. I like the melancholy music. Okay. So this should be This was the final. The comment. Yes. And then we shall be able to fly. In fact, this may very well be. The final quest before the dungeon. Because I assume MSQ is not just going to let us walk in and talk to us. Or maybe he is. This must be the Capitol building here. Player. Yeah. In a big cutscene. So we've got a chunk of the city. Approachable, Amortine. Here are our friends. And companions. Stone and I have just returned from an institution the locals called Academia Anidir. Well, from its public offices at least. We thought an Asian place of learning the ideal spot to research your condition, but it seems we lack the credentials to enter the Academia proper. Ah, Demajen. ... Oh good, you're here. Everyone seems to be present and accounted for. Master Thancred can best describe our chances for infiltrating the capital. I only hope that our efforts to secure permissions were successful. Finally! You've gone so long, was on the verge of mounting a rescue party. How fared you in your bureaucratic ventures? I have permission! Ah, I see my instincts were correct. And a good thing too. Rianger and I weighed our chances of breaking into the capital, and an official entrance is by far the more attractive option. The capital boasteth not a single armed sentry. It would seem that in their time they did not deem it needful to post guards. The windows and doors, however, appear heavily warded. Though mightily did we strive, with strength mundane and magical, we failed to budge them even a fraction of 1 inch. Mayhap 'twas simply the case that Emet-Selk's recreation did not extend to their usual function. So they look fine from the outside. We didn't try everything, of course, but we thought it best to conserve our time and energy for more pressing matters. Speaking of which, Reen and I tried asking about a cure for you. The problem is, these ancients didn't exist beyond Amarot's today. They will happily tell their own tales, but whenever we attempted to explain our situation, the conversation quickly became muddled. What of you, Demajen? Was aught worthy of interest said during your efforts to obtain a writ? Yeah. Quite a lot, in fact. Fade to black to fill people in on that one. A great sacrifice of life in exchange for their brethren's resurrection? And you say all the Asian scheming has been leading to this? All this time. But if they still mean to enact this plan, then things won't end with the rejoining. Nope. Aye. I thought we knew their intentions in full, restore the world to its former glory, and in turn empower Zodiac to reclaim his throne as the will of the star. Yet that was merely a step along the way. I hesitate to put it into words, but we have to assume that following the final rejoining, the Asians mean to draw on their lives as the source to make their sacrifice to Zodiac. Because Emet-Selk did say that he didn't consider doing so, killing any of these people, murder. That does seem the most likely scenario. Perhaps those who ally with the Asians would be spared that fate. But what value is there in surviving when all our history, all our struggles will be erased? I cannot conscience such an act. Of course not. And what's to say naught to what Emet-Selk plans for the Exarch's power? Do we stand by and let him threaten our future as well as our past? Nope. We need to find him, Demajen. And when we do, make your mark. Change the course of history in a way that's felt by those who came before and those who came after, by everyone you've ever met. Changing things so that even my other self, dying somewhere in that future calamity, will smile and say, I knew you would win. Do we still have the white aura sight? Because we have got so much ether in us now that we could quite easily fashion a blade of light and strike down Emet-Selch. Is fighting Emet-Selch the only way? He created an entire city. It will take everything we have to defeat him, if we even can. And if you push that hard in your current state, the light will break free. The decision to press on lies with you, just as it lies with each and every one of us. No stopping us now! Nod! Well, I'm going. Oh. More tenacity! Ba, 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 ba. The Tempest Ether Current Attunement complete. Frequent Flyer 3. Right. Y'shtola meets your gaze with a strange smile. You seem to recall her wearing the self-same expression when speaking with Lisa and Runar. Alphino is lost in thought, his eyes downcast. There is, however, no sign of the self-doubt which once assailed him at the falling snows. Reen appears to be brooding over her choices, her faintly trembling hands betraying her mounting trepidation. Tancred stares quietly into the distance. He seems calm and assured, his easy stance born of confidence rather than false bravado. Urianger glances your way, his expression hesitant. You can see the struggle as he agonises over the words he wishes to say. Shadowbringers, this is the final quest. And we get a box from it. Alisaie appears to have made her decision. Do you remember that talk we had atop the tower in Mordsuk? I'm still of the same mind now as I was then. I don't abandon you, you don't abandon me, and together we make a difference in this fight. There's always hope if we look for it. I saw it again and again as you tore those veils of light from the sky. If we keep taking that next step forward, there's a chance we'll find a way to save you. So, no matter how long it takes or how much it hurts, you can count on me to keep on walking. All three spoke of the disaster we would bring upon our own heads. The ceaseless conflict. Imagine how he would sneer to see what's become of the first, not to mention your perilous predicaments. And yet, who could deny the fire your deeds has ignited in people's hearts? You achieve what my logic and ideals never could, uniting disparate peoples under the banner of hope and common purpose. Without you, that giant talus would never have raised its head. I have borne witness to many such miracles at your side, and would do so again. This is but another obstacle in the road. So come, let us travel together. Drag me through wonder and danger as you are wont to do, and I shall endeavour not to slow you down. As well thou knowest, if we are to usher Emet-Selch unto his rest, we must needs bind his Ascian soul and then shatter it with overwhelming force. The former task requireth oversight, and such have I prepared upon the Exarch's asking no less, though 'twas ever mine intent to provide said boon. The future whence our noble friend doth hail is a world fallen to Ascian artifice, and he would not see such grim history repeated. In a sense, Emet-Selch's destruction will be the culmination of the Exarch's efforts, a reward for all he hath endured these many years. Yet, even as thou stridest into the jaws of peril, forget not but that his fondest wish, and that of many others besides, is to see thee survive until the morrow. 'Tis in pursuit of that happiest of outcomes that I do pledge to remain at thy side. Our time the First has been a never-ending succession of trials, as arduous as our path in the Source ever was. Yet through all our journeys together, through that deep and foreboding wood, you have helped me to stay true to my convictions. Thus would I return the favour. Do as your heart decrees, without hesitation or regret. That is all I will say on the matter. Well, this has put everyone in a solemn mood, hasn't it? Honestly, we're not even sure this will be the end of it. But I suppose we should speak our minds when we have the opportunity. You taught me that much in Amaran. So forgive me this moment of sentiment, Demajen. By dragging me into this sorry mess, you've given me the chance to think and act as I should have, for Reen's sake. Words cannot express how much this has changed my life or how grateful I am for your support. So I shall express my gratitude through action instead. No matter where you decide to go, I will be there, guarding your back. And finally... When Minfilia entrusted me with her power, she warned me that no matter how strong you become, you can still fall victim to despair. You can still feel powerless. And she was right. After you collapsed on Mount Gulg, my hands wouldn't stop shaking. If I made a mistake, if I failed to bind the light within you, I was terrified you would die. Even now, you could be moments from turning and I wouldn't know how to save you. You, Thancred, the others, you've all been there when I needed help. Minfilia surrendered her life to me, her legacy. I should be ready to do the same for you. And I want to, I do, but I'm not good enough. She told me to follow your example and I've really tried. I'm not asking to be saved. But the light, how can you go on? I do what I must. Become what I must. Fate can be cruel, but a smile better suits a hero. Who was it that said that? Was that Thancred? I'm not sure Actually, never mind. I think I'll understand better if I try for myself. No. Nothing will come of brooding here in self-pity. I've made my decision, Demajen. I'm going with you. Oddbert? No? No little cutscene with our ghostly friend? Time, then, to speak with the capital attendants. Ah, hay fever. Oh, I thought it would be him, but it's not. Ah, it's him who we couldn't see before. Mom. Welcome to the capital. All visitors must present an official writ of permission before attendance will be granted. I got one. Your documents appear to be in order. You may proceed into the capital, but any guests you may choose to bring with you must remain in your vicinity at all times. Cutscene. Important cutscene, I suspect. Or maybe just an elevator scene. That's a nice door.
This really is unacceptable. I gave you very specific instructions.
Yeah.
Emmett Selk.
Hi, Emmett.
My invitation was for an abomination, ripe with the power to bring about the world's annihilation.
I am sorry to disappoint.
Not this half-broken thing. Whatever am I to do with you?
Well,
I see you insist on keeping the same familiar company. Are you so lost without them?
says the guy who's recreated his entire people.
It is not she who is lost without the familiar.
Ha! Burn for Mistola.
Not content with remaking an entire city, you aim to fill it with the reconstituted souls of the dead.
I may have gotten a little carried away in my attention to detail, added a few unnecessary flourishes. Well, there's no point trying to hide it. Yes. Once the rejoining of worlds is complete, Zodiac will regain his full strength and shatter his prison. Then we shall offer up the Source's remaining inhabitants in sacrifice, that we might resurrect our brethren who died to bring Zodiac into existence. But what was it that you came here to do exactly?
Stop ya.
Did you now? One last do-or-die attempt to foil my plans before your mind dissolves into madness?
Something like that.
How very, very heroic of you. In every single age, there is always someone who wants to stand up to the evil Asians. Always the same arrogance, the same insistence that the world belongs to them, as if theirs were the only rightful claim, theirs the only existence worthy of preservation.
Maybe we could all live together. He doesn't see the irony in his words.
Even now, after everything, you refuse to see reason. You think it unfair that you are subject to suffering? That your lives will be sacrificed for the ancients? Look at me! I have lived 1,000 of your lives. I have broken bread with you, fought with you, grown ill, grown old, sired children, and yes, welcomed death's sweet embrace. For eons have I measured your worth and found you wanting. Too weak and feeble-minded to serve as stewards of any star. Have your recent spats with Vorthri and his Sin Eaters taught you nothing? Have you not learned that your ignorance and frailty beget only endless misery?
It's life, though.
How long do you mean to perpetuate this farce? How much more must I endure your bumbling interference?
I will actually be kind of sad when we defeat Emet-Selch.
Let us imagine that the laws of reality are again undone and the world faces true annihilation. Do you honestly believe that half your number would sacrifice themselves to save the other?
Good point, well made.
Of course they wouldn't. And if you had witnessed history unfold as I have, you would reach the same conclusion.
He's kind of got a point.
You cannot be entrusted with our legacy. I will bring back our brethren, our friends, our loved ones. The world belongs to us and us alone.
There's an arrogance there, but there's an arrogance backed up with a certain form of sacrifice. And you do kind of pity him.
MSQ.
Oh, Alpha, no. What you gonna say now?
We understand, truly, but it makes no difference. The ones you love are in the past, while ours are here in the present. One day, we too will be ashes and dust, but not today. Our time is not yet finished. We share your conviction, and that is why we will not abandon our course.
Alpha no with the speeches. He's good at those.
You think us the same? You think your tattered soul of equal worth to those I lost? Then come. Earn your place. Prove yourselves worthy to inherit this star.
Ooh.
Behold the coming oblivion. 'Twas the end of our era and the beginning of our great work. A fitting backdrop for your final judgment.
Ooh.
I shall wait within, but do not spend too much time on your preparations. There's no telling how much longer the guest of honor will last.
Thanks, Emmett, for your concern. Into the fire we go. This looks like a good plan. Ba -ba -da -da -ba -ba. Dungeon time or trial time? Solo instance? Amerots. Regular duty. A duty. A dungeon, in fact. Well. Well. What does it say about it? To the depths of the tempest, to the ocean floor itself, you have come to rescue the Crystal Exarch from the phantom city of Amarot, but barring your way is the architect of this ethereal construct, MSQ, the Ascian who would lead the first into destruction. The light within you strains at its corporeal confines, threatening to break free at any moment. Time does not favour the warrior of darkness. You must brave the final days of Amarot and confront MSQ in the very midst of this recreated calamity. We shall brave the depths of this recreated calamity with our allies in the next episode. I'm very intrigued as to what the bosses and enemies are going to be like in here. We shall find out next time. Thank you all very much for watching. I hope you have enjoyed this very enlightening episode. And I'll catch you all in the next one. Here we go. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, click the like button and subscribe. Remember to ring the bell notification icon to get notified when new videos go live. And until next time, toodle pip.